Good morning. My name is Barb Harris. My pronouns are she, her. I'm here to talk to you today about two traditions at Parkway that will converge next week. One is Jesus Has Left the Building, which Kevin mentioned earlier. The other is Bread for the World, our annual offering of letters. What we are hoping for is that everyone who belongs to Parkway, all our visitors, all our friends, all our members, everybody will write 3 letters, one to Senator Hawley, one to Senator Schmidt, one to your representative in the House, urging them to support the nutrition programs that have been cut by recent budget decisions. We've got some options for you about when you're going to write your letters. You'll find them described on pages 13 and 14 in the bulletin. There are a lot of options. I've been a teacher a long time. I knew as soon as I mentioned those pages, some people would start looking. So I'll give you just a minute, because page 14, it's all there, all the details about when and where and how you can do your writing. But now let's talk about why. We're focusing on alleviating hunger this year because lives are literally at stake. In 2018, according to the CDC, 9,300 people starved to death in the United States. That's pretty shocking in the wealthiest country in the world. But what's more shocking is that 4 years later, that number had more than doubled. In 2022, more than 20,000 people perished due to lack of nutrition, many of them among the elderly. At the other end of the spectrum, we know that 1 child in 5 in this country does not get enough nourishing food to eat. That's 20% of our kids going to bed hungry. Science tells us that if an older child or a reasonably healthy adult experiences a period of privation, when food becomes available again, they'll bounce back fairly quickly. But if lack of nutrition occurs between conception and the age of 2, developmental problems can happen that will last a lifetime. They're irrevocable. No fix. No remedy. And the sad irony is that we have enough food to feed everyone. The problems are access and distribution. During the Great Depression, Congress issued food stamps to help the hungry get food on the table. When economic recovery happened, that program was phased out. But in 1961, President Kennedy brought it back to try to feed the hungry among us. And it's been in effect ever since. In 1980, it was revamped and renamed SNAP, which stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. In 2024, 3.8 million Americans were lifted out of poverty by their SNAP benefits. The money they got to buy groceries lifted them above the poverty line. Unfortunately, legislation passed in 2025 significantly cuts SNAP benefits and adds very difficult to navigate procedures that are required to sign up to receive those benefits. It's estimated that 4.3 million Americans who've been receiving SNAP benefits will lose those benefits. It's already started to happen. Thousands of folks have already discovered that the food assistance they thought they could rely on is gone. To make matters worse, 2 programs that were sponsored by the Department of Agriculture and used to fund lunches for kids at school have been slashed by $1 billion for the coming year. The proposed increases for funding for the Department of War threaten all the humanitarian programs that our federal government has sponsored. So what does our faith call upon us to do? Well, if we look at the Old Testament, Isaiah 58, which gives its name to one of the food pantries that we support, the prophet says that God is telling the people, the fast I require is that you loose the bonds of injustice and share your bread with the hungry. Then your light shall break forth like the dawn. If we look at Matthew 25 in the New Testament, Jesus says, I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me a drink. If you did it to the least of my brothers and sisters, you did it to me. So our marching orders are clear. We need to tell Congress to take care of the people. When the astronauts on Artemis II got back to Earth, they said that the most important thing they had learned while they were out in space was what it means to be part of a crew. A crew takes care of one another above all else. They said, look in the mirror. You are a crew. And indeed we are. And our spacecraft is the planet Earth. And if we do not take care of one another, we will have a very hard time navigating the challenges that lie ahead. So let's lift our voices. Let's write our letters. And let's tell Congress that we want our tax dollars invested in life, not death.